Radhe Radhe, I am Raj. Have you ever wondered why does the Supreme Lord Shiva, the Mahadev, choose to wear a serpent around his neck instead of precious jewels? Why does the Lord of the universe cover his divine body with sacred ash instead of royal garments and fragrant sandalwood? And how did the tears of Lord Shiva become one of the most sacred symbols of devotion known as Rudraksha? To many, these symbols appear mysterious. A serpent may create fear. Ash may remind people of destruction, and tears may remind us of sorrow. But when these symbols are connected to Shiva, they reveal something completely different. They reveal mastery over fear, freedom from illusion, and limitless compassion. Today, we will journey into the deeper meaning behind three sacred aspects connected with Lord Shiva: Vasuki, the divine Nag king; Bhasma, the sacred ash of wisdom; and Rudraksh, the tears of Rudra. Because Shiva's ornaments are not chosen for beauty, they are chosen because they carry a lesson for every soul. Let us begin with Vasuki. Many people see the serpent around Shiva's neck and think only of a snake. But Vasuki is not simply a serpent. He is a great divine being with his own glorious identity. According to ancient traditions, Vasuki was born from the lineage of the great sage Kashyap and Mother Kadru, who was the mother of the Nagas. Sage Kashyap's divine family was extraordinary. From his wife, Vinta, came Arun, who became the charioteer of Suryadev, and Garud, the mighty divine bird who became the devoted vehicle and servant of Lord Vishnu, Sri Hari. From Kadru came the powerful Nag lineage, among whom were Anantshesh and Vasuki. Anantshesh became eternally connected with Lord Vishnu, supporting the cosmic order and appearing through divine incarnations. Vasuki, the younger brother of Shesh, became one of the greatest devotees of Lord Shiva. Though their paths were different, each carried a divine purpose. This itself teaches us something beautiful. In Sanatana Dharma, greatness is not measured only by power or birth, but by how a being offers himself in divine service. Divine beings are not defined only by their appearance, they are known by their devotion. Vasuki was the king of Nag, powerful and respected, but his greatness came from surrendering himself at the feet of Mahadev. One of the most famous moments connected with Vasuki appears during the great Samudra Manthan, the churning of the cosmic ocean. When the Devas and Asuras sought the nectar of immortality, they needed a rope to churn the mighty ocean. Mount Mandara became the churning mountain, and Vasuki offered himself as the sacred rope. Imagine the greatness of this moment. A divine Nag king willingly participated in a cosmic event for the welfare of creation. But during this churning, something unexpected emerged before the nectar. A deadly poison called halahal appeared. Its power was so immense that it threatened to destroy all existence. The Devas and Asuras became helpless. They looked toward the one who protects creation in the darkest moments. They went to Lord Shiva. Without hesitation, Shiva accepted the poison. He drank the halahal to save the universe. And to prevent it from spreading through his entire body, Mother Parvati gently held his throat, causing the poison to remain there. Thus, Shiva became Neelakant, the one with the blue throat. This story is one of the greatest examples of Shiva's compassion. But there is another beautiful connection. The divine beings who stood beside Shiva during these cosmic events were not chosen because of status or appearance. They were chosen because of their devotion and purpose. And Vasuki, who had offered himself for the protection of creation, became forever connected with Mahadev. The serpent that many fear became an honored companion of Shiva. This is the first hidden teaching. Shiva does not reject what the world fears, he transforms it. The serpent represents energies that can either control us or be mastered by us. Desire, anger, pride, and ego can become like a poisonous serpent when they control the mind. But when consciousness rises above them, the same energy becomes a force of wisdom. That is why Vasuki resting around Shiva's neck carries such a profound message. The neck is the place connected with speech and expression. The serpent resting there reminds us the one who has mastered himself speaks with wisdom. The one who is controlled by ego becomes a servant of his own desires. Shiva does not run away from powerful forces, he sits calmly with them. Because true mastery is not escaping the world, true mastery is remaining peaceful while surrounded by it. And this is why Vasuki is not merely something Shiva wears. Vasuki is a great devotee who received the highest honor, eternal closeness to Mahadev, a reminder that devotion can transform even the most misunderstood beings into symbols of divine greatness. But the mysteries surrounding Lord Shiva do not end with Vasuki. After understanding the divine serpent, let us now look at another symbol that has confused many people for centuries, the sacred ash upon Shiva's body. Why would the Supreme Lord, who is the source of all creation, choose to cover himself with ash? Why not gold? Why not precious jewels? Why not the ornaments that kings and emperors desire? The answer lies in one of the deepest teachings of Sanatana Dharma. The ash is not a symbol of sorrow, it is a symbol of awakening. In Shaiva traditions, this sacred ash is known as Bhasma or Vibhuti. The word Bhasma carries a profound meaning. It reminds us of that which remains after everything temporary has disappeared. The body changes, beauty fades, wealth comes and goes. Positions and achievements that seem permanent today eventually become memories. But beyond all these changing forms exists the eternal consciousness, the Atma. Shiva, wearing bhasma, teaches humanity. Do not mistake the temporary for the eternal. This physical body is precious, but it is not the complete truth of who we are. Our real identity is the eternal soul. The wisdom of sacred ash is deeply described in Shaiv scriptures. The Kalagni Rudra Upanishad presents a sacred dialogue between Lord Shiva and Sanat Kumar sages, explaining the significance of Bhasma and its spiritual application. The Shiv Puran, especially teachings associated with the Vidyeshwar Samhita, glorifies the greatness of Bhasma and the wearing of Tripund, the three sacred horizontal lines of ash upon the forehead. The Brihajbala Upanishad further describes the preparation and application of Vibhuti as a sacred practice connected with spiritual knowledge. But why three lines? Why the Tripund? Different Shaiv traditions explain this symbolism in various ways. The three lines can represent the burning away of the three impurities that bind the soul: ignorance, ego, and attachment. They also remind seekers of the three sacred fires of transformation: the power to purify thought, action, and consciousness. When Shiva wears bhasma, he shows that he has conquered what binds ordinary beings. He is untouched by Maya, the illusion that makes us believe temporary things are permanent. The world runs behind beauty. Shiva covers himself with ash. The world runs behind possessions. Shiva carries nothing except what is necessary. The world fears endings. Shiva sits peacefully among cremation grounds. Why? Because Shiva is not afraid of what everyone else fears. He has understood the deepest truth. Everything created must transform. The form may disappear, but the essence continues. There is another beautiful spiritual meaning hidden within ash. Ash has no pride. It does not say, I belonged to a king, I belonged to a wealthy person, I belonged to someone powerful. After becoming ash, all differences disappear. The beautiful and ordinary become the same. The rich and poor become the same. The body returns to the same elemental state. By embracing Bhasma, Shiva reveals the purity that exists beyond all worldly labels. He shows that the soul without the coverings of ego. That this is why sacred ash is not associated with negativity in Shaiv tradition. It is associated with freedom, freedom from fear, freedom from false identity, freedom from the endless chase of the material world. But there is another layer of beauty. Shiva is called the destroyer in the cosmic trinity. Yet, destruction in the divine sense does not mean simply ending something. It means removing what prevents renewal. A farmer removes old crops so new life can grow. Fire removes impurities from gold so its brilliance can shine. And Shiva removes illusion so the eternal truth can be revealed. The ash upon his body is therefore a message. Burn away the unnecessary. Let go of pride. Let go of fear. Let go of the illusion that the temporary world is the final reality. Then what remains is the pure light of consciousness. And this is why devotees apply bhasma with reverence, not because they celebrate death, but because they remember the highest truth of life. The body is temporary, the soul is eternal. The journey of the seeker is not to escape life, it is to discover the divine presence within it. After understanding Vasuki and Bhasma, we now arrive at the most tender and compassionate symbol connected with Lord Shiva, Rudraksha, a small bead worn by sages, yogis, and devotees across generations. But behind this simple bead is a story of divine compassion. The word Rudraksh itself carries a beautiful meaning. It comes from two words, Rudra, another name of Lord Shiva, and Aksh, meaning eye or tear. Rudraksh is traditionally understood as the tears of Rudra. But why would the tears of Mahadev fall upon earth? To understand this, we must look beyond ordinary emotion. Shiva's tears were not tears of helplessness, they were tears born from infinite compassion. Ancient Shaiv traditions describe that Lord Shiva entered a state of deep meditation for the welfare of all beings. For ages, he remained absorbed in the highest consciousness, holding within himself the suffering, struggles, and hopes of creation. When Shiva opened his eyes, tears of compassion flowed from his divine eyes and touched the earth. From these sacred tears, the Rudraksh trees emerged. This beautiful origin story is described in the Shiv Puran, especially the Vidyeshwar Samhita, and is further glorified in texts such as the Rudraksh Jabala Upanishad, Padma Puran, Linga Puran, and Devi Bhagavata Puran. The Rudraksh Jabala Upanishad presents a sacred dialogue connected with Lord Shiva in his form as Kalagni Rudra and Sanat Kumar sages, explaining the spiritual importance of Rudraksh. The message is profound. Shiva's compassion did not remain only in the heavens. It came down to earth in a form that human beings could hold close, a reminder that divine grace is always available to the sincere seeker. Traditionally, different types of Rudraksh are described according to their mukhi or natural faces. Different traditions associate different spiritual meanings with these varieties. But beyond classifications, the deepest meaning remains the same. Rudraksh represents a conscious life connected with Shiva. A person wearing Rudraksh is reminded, control the mind, purify thoughts, walk with awareness, live with devotion. For thousands of years, yogis and spiritual seekers have worn Rudraksh during meditation and spiritual practices. Many traditional yogic teachings describe Rudraksh as supportive for calmness, focus, and inner discipline. Whether held in prayer or worn around the body, its greatest power lies in in the remembrance it creates. Every time a devotee touches Rudraksh, it becomes an invitation to remember Shiva, remember stillness, remember compassion, remember the eternal truth beyond temporary distractions. And this brings us to the deeper connection between these three sacred symbols. Vasuki teaches us mastery, that the serpent that once created fear becomes a symbol of control over inner forces. Bhasma teaches us detachment. The ash reminds us that everything temporary must return to its source, and Rudraksh teaches us compassion. The tears of Shiva remind us that the highest consciousness is not cold or distant, it is filled with love for every living being. Together, they reveal the path of Shiva. First, master yourself. Then, release your attachments. Finally, open your heart with compassion. This is the hidden teaching behind Shiva's sacred symbols. They are not simply things that Mahadev wears, they are lessons he offers to humanity. A serpent around his neck, ash upon his body, and Rudraksh close to his heart. Every symbol is a message, every ornament is a teaching, and every teaching leads the soul closer to the divine. Before we conclude this journey, let us offer a prayer to Lord Shiva through one of the most revered mantras dedicated to him. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukme Vandanan Mrityor Mukshya Mamritat. This sacred mantra invokes Lord Triambaka, the three-eyed form of Shiva. It is a prayer asking Mahadev to free us from the bonds of fear, suffering, and worldly attachment, guiding us toward the eternal truth. May Lord Shiva bless us with the wisdom to overcome our inner darkness, the strength to let go of illusion, and the compassion to walk the path of dharma. If you felt the divine presence of Mahadev through this journey, share your thoughts in the comments and let us know which teaching of Shiva touched your heart the most. Subscribe to Creations of Radha Krishna for more sacred stories, timeless wisdom, and divine journeys from Sanatana Dharma. This divine story is based on the episodes and teachings described in the Shiv Puran, Rudraksha, Jabala, Jabala Upanishad, Bhasma-related Shaiva Upanishads, Linga Puran, Padma Puran, Devi Bhagavata Puran, and other traditional Sanatan sources. Har Har Mahadev.